Okay, class, with number 6, picking up where we left off at. We have negative 11 plus 9. Now we need to subtract this here. We could take 11 minus 9 gives us 2. So we know our answer is going to have 2 as part of the answer. But we have to determine whether the sign is negative or positive. So we look at both of these individual numbers and we determine which one is furthest away from 0 or have more units away from 0. Whichever one has more units away from 0, we take its sign. We know negative 11 is 11 units from 0 and 9 is 9 units from 0. So we would take the sign of the 11, which would be negative. Okay, now we scroll down here to note if A is a number, then negative A is the opposite of A. So A plus negative A is 0, because remember, anytime you take a number or a letter or a variable, as we say, plus its opposite, it will give us 0. Now negative A plus A, same thing. They're opposites, so it's 0. Now we come down here to number 7. 18 plus its opposite, 18 plus negative 18 is 0. And number 8, negative 64 plus 64 is also 0. Now we scroll down here to section B. It says adding several integers. It says example. We have 5 plus negative 3 plus 12 plus negative 14. Now this all has the same operation, so we know we go from left to right. So let's start this up here. 5 plus a negative 3, we know that that will give us 2. Because we know 5 minus 3 is 2, and 5 is the longer distance from 0, so we would keep its sign. Now we will have plus 12 plus a negative 14. 2 plus 12 is 14 plus a negative 14. 14 plus its opposite is 0. Now we go here to number 2. Now number 2 I'm going to do a little different than number 1. Because this is all addition, remember the commutative property of addition that we learned? That it doesn't matter the order, we'll still end up with the same answer if it's all addition. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put all of the negative numbers together, and I'm going to put all of the positive numbers together. So now I'm going to add all of the negatives. Negative 7 plus negative 5, we know it's negative 12, plus negative 6 is negative 18. And then I'm going to add the positives together. 3 plus 10 is 13. Now we add negative 18 plus 13. They have different signs, so we know we're going to subtract, and we can go off to the side. 18 minus 13 we know gives us 5. Now we have to determine the sign. Now as far as units away from 0, negative 18 has 18 units. 13 has 13 units from 0. So we know negative 18 have more units away from 0. So our final answer would be negative. Now we scroll down here to section C. It says evaluating algebraic expressions. Example. Evaluate x plus 3y for x is negative 6 and y is 2. So we have to go through here and substitute. So we'll put in negative 6 for x plus 3 times y is 2. So we will have negative 6. 3 times 2 we know is 6. Negative 6 plus 6 is 0. Now we go here to number 2. We add negative, x is negative 4, plus, we add an absolute value, we substitute in the value for y, which is negative 5. Now you notice I put what I substituted in parentheses, which I do every time I substitute. The opposite of negative 4 is positive 4, plus the absolute value of negative 5, we know negative 5 is 5 units from 0, so that will be positive 5. And 4 plus 5 is 9. Now, we come here to section D. It says solving problems by adding integers. Write an addition problem and then solve the problem. If the temperature was negative 7 degrees Fahrenheit at 6 a.m. and it rose 4 degrees by 7 a.m. and then rose another 9 degrees in the hour from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., what was the temperature at 8 a.m.? So we start off with a negative 7 degrees Fahrenheit. And then it says from 6 to 7, it rose 4 degrees. So we add 4 degrees Fahrenheit. And then it says it rose another 9 degrees in the hours from 7 to 8. So we add 9 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we want to know what was the temperature at 8 a.m. So now we can add. We can have negative 7 degrees Fahrenheit, and we add the two positive numbers together. 4 and 9 is 13 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we have negative 7 degrees Fahrenheit plus 13 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we know we're going to subtract. You could take 13 minus 7, and just to go through the whole subtraction process, we will borrow 1 from this 1, and this 3 will become 13. 13 minus 7 is 6. So we will have 6 degrees Fahrenheit. But remember, we have to check and see what sign it will have. We know as far as the distance from 0, as far as the units, 13 has more units than negative 7, so our answer would be positive 6 degrees Fahrenheit. Now problem number 2. It says you had a balance of $55 in your checking account. You accidentally wrote a check for $62. Your bank charged you $25 for the overdraft. Once you realize your error, you make a $100 deposit. What is the new balance in your checking account? So we can write this out. You started off with $55. You wrote a check, so that's going to take money from your account. You wrote a check for $62, so it's minus $62, and the bank charged you $25 for the overdraft. So you will subtract another $25. And then it says once you realize your error, you make a $100 deposit. So whenever you make a deposit, that's an addition for you. So you would add $100. So now we will add here. Now what we could do is this. We know that this is subtraction, but in keeping with how things are done with this section, this will actually be plus a negative $62 plus a negative $25, just to keep in line with this section here. It should be a negative $25. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to combine all of the positive numbers. So we have 55 plus 100 plus, and then we're going to do the negative numbers. It'll be a negative $62 plus a negative $25. So now we add the positive numbers. 55 plus 100 is $155. Now we add the negative numbers. Plus, we have a negative 62 and a negative 25. Since they have the same sign, you add them together, and that will give you a negative 87. So now we would take this 155 minus 87. Now we have to borrow 1 from this 5. It gives us a 4, and this 5 becomes 15. 15 minus 7 is 8, and we know we cannot take 8 from 4, so we will borrow 1 from this 1, and this 4 will become 14. 14 minus 8 is 6, and you know we have our 0 here. So our answer here would be $68. Now we have to determine if this is positive or negative. We know 155 is more units away than 87. So our final answer here will be a positive $68. And that is it from this section.